of the Cursed Lake. Chapter 2, Whispers in the Mist. Part 3. I was the last one to see her, the only witness to how the world erased itself around Anna, sealing shut, without a seam. I stood at the water's edge, paralyzed between denial and horror, as if the very air had turned against us, as if the mist had fingers, a mind. The bag of bread lay open like a torn throat. The swans watched with black, judgmental eyes. I could not accept that she was gone, that she had simply vanished without a trace. Her name broke from my lips again and again, tearing through the fog like an animal, feral and afraid. I searched the shoreline in widening circles, calling until my voice was raw and strange. My mind reeled against what I had seen, against what I could not see, against what I refused to understand. The swans seemed to know, their eyes fixed and unblinking, as if the birds themselves were to blame, as if they had taken her. I screamed at them, frantic, demanding an answer, demanding that they give her back. The air grew thick and tight. I was smothering in it. She had been there, and then she was not, as if the earth had turned traitor and taken her side. Nothing felt real but the absence. Her shape burned like a wound into the wet ground. I could still see her at the water's edge, her hand reaching open, so sure, as if nothing could ever take her from me. I could still see her standing, walking, slipping away, as though it was the most natural thing, as if this place was where she belonged, and I was only an outsider watching her disappear into the mist. "Anna," I called, almost a gasp. "Anna." But the sound barely reached past my own lips. Even my voice felt stolen, stripped of any meaning. I was still hoping for a splash, a cry, a footstep, still hoping to hear her laugh and say my name. A joke, a dream, a trick of the light. The reeds stood still. The water stood still. The swans moved and nothing else. I dropped to my knees in the mud, scooping up the scarf I'd found, crumpling it to my chest. If she had gone to the woods, I would have seen her. If she had gone to the water, I would have seen her. I told myself she must be hiding like she used to when we played at getting lost, at being found, back when everything felt like a story we could tell and tell again. I told myself she wanted to be found. The bag of bread lay torn in the mud. The mist had made it soft, had taken even the shape of her hands from it. There was nothing left of her. Nothing but the swans, white and silent as bone, slipping toward the shore where she had knelt. I scrambled to my feet, legs shaking, fighting for breath. "Anna," I shouted, the word like fire in my throat. "Anna." I couldn't stop calling, couldn't stop thinking she might hear, that she might call back, that the world would unravel itself and set her free. The fog toyed with my voice, throwing it back in thin echoes, distant and small, more shadow than sound. I ran from the water, from the place where she had vanished, scanning the shoreline, searching, frantic. "Anna, Anna," I called into the reeds, into the empty gray. I followed the curve of the shore, tripping over roots, stones, my own feet. I searched until I felt the dull hammer of blood in my ears. I searched until the fear inside me broke and scattered, turning into something wild and bright. The lake. It had to be the lake, the swans. It had to be the swans. I thought of how she looked at them, how she looked at me, how they moved toward her, always closer, as if the water was their gift and they had chosen her to share it. "No," I said to myself, to the air, to the swans. "No." I stumbled back to the shore, my eyes on them, the ghostly shapes that grew sharper as the fog began to clear. I knelt at the water's edge, soaking my knees, watching them watch me. Their eyes were dark as the lake, steady and cold, too knowing. I could feel them stripping my breath, my sense, the truth. I could feel their gaze eating at the edges of me, swallowing reason, swallowing her. The swans. It had to be the swans. As if they had called her, drawn her away. As if they were more than birds, more than they should be. I watched them slip through the water without moving a muscle, without making a sound. They drifted nearer, pale and patient as ghosts. "What did you do?" I whispered, clenching her scarf until my knuckles burned white. I watched them with my blood pounding in my ears, watched the way they glided, the way they circled. How could they move so sure, so fearless? How could they come to me, still trusting, still open? I felt a dark, deep pull inside my chest, a sick heat spreading. "Where is she?" I shouted louder now, wild with the need to make them hear. I heard myself, the splintered sound of my own voice. "Where is she? Give her back." I stood again, ran at the lake, kicking mud, kicking water. I was close enough to see their black, sharp eyes. Close enough to see my reflection, not flesh, but feathers. My mind couldn't hold it, wouldn't hold it. Tell me, tell me. I was shouting at the birds, shouting at the air. The swans parted, unafraid, untroubled, slipping past as if I were nothing but mist. Her face stayed in front of me, her eyes, her smile. I heard her humming in my head, saw her hand on the bread, on the scarf, on my arm, felt her fingers slipping away, further and further, already gone. "Anna!" I screamed, a tearing sound. It was a storm. It was a fever. It was everything at once. I staggered, then fell, water soaking my arms, my chest. The swans moving steady, never breaking their circle, never breaking their silence. I fell again, harder, deep inside me, my breath gone, her name gone, everything gone. The lake looked smooth, too smooth, still as stone beneath the mist. The shore looked blank, erasing itself, erasing her. Only the swans moved, white lines across a dark page. I crawled onto the bank, coughing, shaking, cold. "Anna," I whispered. "Anna." I could feel the life being drawn out of me, out of the scarf, limp in my hands, too limp to mean a thing. I knelt there, trembling, my clothes soaked and heavy as grief. She was gone. It was gone. Everything gone. My mind spun fast and empty, desperate to make sense of the silence. The whole world was a void, and I was shouting at the fog, thinking it might listen. I pulled myself upright, staggering away from the water, from the reeds, from the stones. The swans kept on, gliding past the shore, their black eyes steady, never looking back. She was gone, but they were still there. I couldn't let them be, couldn't let them keep it, whatever they had done. If she was gone, they had taken her. And if that was true, then it was because of this place, because of the way it watched, waited, wanting. The thought pushed through me, hard as bone. It wasn't just her. It was everything. Everything we never knew. Everything the village knew too well. "Anna," I said, my voice hollow, numb. I pressed her scarf to my mouth, holding in the terror, holding in the need. They had taken her. The swans, the lake, the air, the village. I couldn't face it alone. I wouldn't. I couldn't let her slip away. Not without answers. Not without knowing. Not without tearing this whole place apart. I had to go back. I had to make them talk. Make them tell me. I stumbled into the woods, away from the lake, away from the quiet, the blank, the horror of being alone.